Welcome back to Next Level, the series where we break down the real systems behind the world's most successful mobile games. In Episode 1, we defined what LiveOps actually is, and in Episode 2, we dug into why it exists and the real goals behind it. Well, today, in Episode 3, we're getting super practical. We are breaking down LiveOps event types, what kinds of events exist, what problem each one solves, and how the really smart studios combine them to keep their games alive for years. So if you've ever asked yourself, what events should we even be running? You know, how long should this thing last? A day? A week? A month? Or, the big one, why does this event work like a charm, but that one just completely flops? Well, this right here is going to answer all of that. Let's press the start button. Okay, so first things first. The biggest mistake developers make is thinking of LiveOps as just a list of random events to run. It's not. The secret is that successful LiveOps is a layered system where every single event has a very specific job to do. And pretty much every top game out there relies on 3 core categories. Let's break them down one by one. We're going to start at the bottom with the absolute foundation of the whole thing: daily events. Think of these as the heartbeat of your game. So what makes a daily event a daily event? Well, they're always short, totally predictable, and repeatable. And crucially, they're super low pressure. We're talking about things you see all the time, right? Daily login rewards, those simple little daily quests, or that free spin you get just for popping in. But here's the thing you have to understand. These events aren't designed to be mind-blowingly exciting. Their real job, their only job, is to answer one simple little question in the back of your player's mind every single day. Should I open the game today? And that means their job is to build a habit, a routine. They need to be reliable, not revolutionary. They create this super low-friction reason to just come back day after day. For a lot of casual games, this is literally the pulse of the whole experience. If that daily pulse stops, the game just feels dead. Okay, so we've got our foundation, that daily habit. Now we get to add the next layer, and this is where things get interesting. We're adding the spark, short-term events. Now, these events are where LiveOps starts to feel really powerful. They usually run for a few days, maybe a week, and they are all about creating a sense of urgency. You know the ones: weekend double rewards events, those intense leaderboard competitions, or timed races that really get your adrenaline going. And see, these trigger a totally different mindset in the player. It's not that calm, oh, I'll check in feeling. It's that, oh man, this ends soon. I'm so close, I can't stop now. If I miss this, I'm going to fall behind everyone else. This is what drives those spikes in how often people play and for how long. So their job is simple: create urgency and excitement. But here's the really clever part. The best short-term events don't force players to spend money. No, they just amplify the motivation a player already has to win. They spend because they're right on the edge of a goal and they don't want all that effort they just put in to go to waste. All right, we've got our base, we've got our spark. Now for the final piece that holds the entire structure together. This is the spine, our long-term events. These are the marathons, not the sprints. We're talking events that can last anywhere from 2 to 6 weeks, sometimes even a whole quarter. This is where you find stuff like season passes, monthly progression tracks, or those big, sprawling collection events where you're trying to find all the pieces. And their purpose is completely different from the other 2 layers. They are designed to answer a much deeper, more meaningful question for the player. Why should I keep playing this game this month? Not just today, not just this weekend, but for the long haul. So, their job is to provide direction and motivation. This is what stabilizes your retention over time by giving players a real, meaningful purpose that goes way beyond a single play session. And what's really cool is that for a lot of games, these long-term events quietly become the main way to progress, keeping the whole experience feeling fresh, even if the core gameplay itself never changes. So there you have it, our 3 layers. But here's the thing. The real power, the secret sauce, isn't in any one of these layers alone. It's about how you stack all 3 of them together. Just look at how this works when a player logs in. They're hit with all 3 layers at once. The daily event is like a friendly hello, saying, hey, here's a little something for showing up today. That builds the habit. The short-term event is yelling, this is urgent, it's ending soon, don't miss out. That creates the excitement. And the long-term event is quietly whispering, look, you're making progress on that big, meaningful goal. That provides the motivation. Habit, excitement, and motivation, all at once. Let's make this super concrete with maybe the best example out there, Candy Crush Saga. Their system is an absolute masterclass. First up, you've got your daily boosters and rewards. Simple, predictable. Their job? Build the habit of opening the app every day. Then, layered right on top of that, you have the weekly races and those limited time challenges. What do? They inject a powerful dose of urgency and excitement. I gotta beat my friends this week. And finally, you've got the big ones, the seasonal passes and collection events. These provide those long-term goals, that deep motivation to keep players invested for weeks, even months. The core Match 3 game hardly ever changes, but the reason you're playing is constantly being refreshed. That is the power of a good structure. So, how do you actually apply this? How do you figure out the right mix for your game? Well, it's not as complicated as it sounds. There's a pretty simple framework you can follow, and it's all based on where your game is in its life cycle. Let's walk through it. Step 1. If your game is still in its early stages, just focus on nailing your daily and short-term events first. You have to build the habit before you can give players a long-term ambition. Step 2. Once your game is a bit more established, that's when you introduce those long-term events to really stabilize your retention and revenue. And step 3, for mature games, you layer all 3, but your focus shifts. You're not adding tons of new mechanics. You're just rotating themes and content to keep it feeling new. It's all about finding that balance. So the huge takeaway here is that live ops events are not just random ideas. They are distinct tools. You have your habit builders, your urgency creators, and your motivation systems. Daily events bring players back, short-term events keep them glued to the screen in the moment, and long-term events give them a reason to stick around for the long haul. And when these layers work together in harmony, well, even the simplest games can feel endlessly fresh. Thanks for tuning into Next Level. If this episode helped you understand live ops event types more clearly, make sure to follow, share, and save it for your team. And join us next time.